Yes, it's completely notated. Actually, last month, was it last month or maybe 2 months ago, I released my very first ukulele songbook. And the next thing that I want to talk about is tone. Tone is so important. And the way that I mean, I remember when I was a kid, I used to just sit in front of the television set and I would just do this. And I wanted to make every note sound exactly like the one before it. You see how you can just change the whole character of the instrument just by the way that you attack the strings. Even when you're strumming, it doesn't just have to be when you're picking, it can be when you're strumming. I could strum something like that, part of my nail, or I can use just the fleshy part of my finger. So you watch this, I'm gonna play this little motif and I'm gonna do it twice. The first time I'm gonna use the insides of my fingers and the second time I'm gonna use the outside. So you can hear the contrast. So again, you see how tone can really change the mood of a piece. You know, you can just by attacking the strings in a different way. If I'm playing a ballad, I wouldn't have the same approach on the strings as if I were playing a more up-tempo tune. You know, if I were playing something like, if I were just playing something. Sensitive touch, yeah, as opposed to like really banging on it, you know, or snapping the string. You know, if I were to, but I mean, you could still approach it aggressively, but it's just you have to have that control. So if I were to approach it a little bit more aggressively, it would sound like this. Phrasing has to be, you have to be a little bit more more sensitive with the phrasing because you're not as sensitive with your touch now. You see what I mean? So it's always a give and take. You know, and with music, it's not just about the notes and the chords, but there's so much. There's, you know, like, I love dynamics. Dynamics is probably my favorite aspect of music. I love when things get really soft to a whisper to really loud. And I'll kind of demonstrate that here. This is like I'm just going to play this progression. It's actually at the end of a song that I composed called Blue Roses Falling. And it just goes through this progression, but it starts off real big, and then it just gets softer and softer and softer and softer. It does the exact opposite of the ending of While My Guitar Gently Weeps. And it sounds something like this. Play the ukulele, and if there's a song where I want to change up the tone, or I want to change the feel or the sound of it, or I want to express it a different way, I have to learn to do that with my fingers, with my body, with my facial expressions, whatever it is, you know. But utilizing your body and utilizing everything that you have, you know, is your instrument. It's not just this, you know. Sometimes we get so caught up in, oh, this is what we're playing. We're playing this ukulele, but the ukulele is just an illusion. You know, all of the notes that you play, all of the chords that you play, every strum, every hit needs to be created before it even gets to the instrument. Otherwise, it's not music. It's just the mechanics of sound and the mechanics of making your instrument work. So all of that, you need to feel it. You know, like when I play a chord, or if I'm playing a song, before I start that song, I need to feel that emotion inside before I even touch my instrument. Because if I'm not feeling the song here yet, then there's no way it's gonna come out of this. You know, so it doesn't matter what I play. If I'm playing like a rock tune, you know, then I need to like ballad, you know, about you know, losing a loved one or something. You know, I need to take myself back to that emotion, that time in my life, and I need to just feel that. And even if it takes a few seconds, you know, to just kind of wait, be patient, and as soon as you feel that, then I know I can grab my instrument. Then I know I can express something that's meaningful and honest, and creating something that's exactly what I want for that moment. But anyways, I don't, was I even answering a question? I don't even remember how I got to that, but,
right.
Yes, sir.
Really quick, hey number one, thank you so much for being here. We're all so excited.
Oh, I'm thrilled. You know, I mean, I'm just a big fan of the ukulele, and I gotta tell you, man, it's just amazing to hear this instrument in national commercials now. You got, you know, the band Train, you know, with Hey Soul Sister, you know, having like the #1 song in the country, and that whole thing is all like, you know, revolves around the sound of the ukulele. You know, you got Eddie Vedder releasing a solo ukulele record. I mean, you know, this is to me the coolest the ukulele has ever been. You know, and I think so many people are seeing that. They're like, oh, it's not just, you know, it's not just this, you know, but it's, wow, it's something that's cool, something that's very hip, very now, but something that's also very old and traditional at the same time. You know, the coolest thing is, like, whenever I do concerts and stuff, you'll see like 3 generations of a family come. You see the grandchildren, the parents, and the grandparents, and they'll all come to the show. And after the show, you know, I'll get to meet some of them, and you know, and it's like they all come for different reasons. You know, the grandkids come because they saw a video clip on YouTube or something, and then they started playing the ukulele. You know, the parents come because maybe they got married in Hawaii, and they remember their honeymoon there, and they remember all the ukulele music. You know, or the grandparents come because, you know, they remember like the Tiny Tim and the Arthur Godfrey, and when ukulele became very popular on television. You know, they saw this and they're like, oh, I love the ukulele. You know, and it's, so everyone comes for their own reason, and it's amazing because, you know, there were so many spikes in, if you look historically, right, like in the 20s, the ukulele was very, very popular again, and then in the 50s, and then now, you know, again, it's just making another comeback, and it's speaking to people of all ages, just because I think the internet is playing a huge role in the popularity of this instrument again, you know, because the ukulele, like, you know, I was reading the Denver Ukulele Festival website, you know, it says the ukulele is the people's instrument, you know, it's everybody's instrument. And I believe that, because I tell people all the time, you don't have to be a musician to play the ukulele. You know, it's just, it's not intimidating. If you've never played an instrument before, you're not afraid to pick it up and say, I wanna try and play the ukulele. You know, but if you're, like, my grandmother just started playing, you know, and she's like 80 years old. She would never wake up one morning and say, I'm gonna learn the cello. I mean, I love the cello or the violin, I love those instruments, but you know what? It's hard to play, it's intimidating. You know, it takes years and years before you can even get a sound that is, you know, where you don't have to wear earplugs, you know, because in the beginning, like, I tried playing the violin. I mean, I couldn't even hold the bow, you know, it was just like, my fingers were cramping up. You know, but the ukulele is so easy, you can take it everywhere with you, and it's a beautiful thing.